Welcome to Thrive Thursdays. We're super excited that you guys are here with us tonight. If you're watching us on replay, we are still super excited to have you. Tonight, we have some guest speakers with us from PropertyRadar. And I believe last week you guys had focus on one of my friends who also was a guest speaker on how he sells 50 homes a year, more focused on the buy side. So tonight, we're going to bring you some bonuses and some gems talking about listings. And I'm super excited that we have the CEO himself, Mr. Mark Hockridge, with us, and his partner in crime, Jacob, who's going to give us some tidbits as we go through. But I am going to start with one of my famous slide decks because we all know I bounce all over the place. And I want to make sure that we stay fully focused. So let me give you a tidbit of what we're going to go over tonight. Alrighty. Is everybody good? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
This is also an interactive class. I'll ask you if you're paying attention to drop specific things in the chat. So tonight I want to talk to you guys about how you can generate listings in 30 days and a much more practical way than spending thousands and thousands of dollars on leads. I think you're going to be super excited to see some of the things that we're going to present to you as far as data is concerned and just accuracy with names, emails, and phone numbers, and then a plan that we can get in place for you to actually really hyper focus and target specific types of data. If that would help you in your business, please put a 1 in the chat. If there's no ones in the chat, we're hanging up. All right. So this is kind of a typical Betsy quote that I came up with today, which is stop buying leads and start finding opportunities. I talk to you guys all the time about you not having a lead problem, you having a problem not being able to convert and focus and work the opportunities that are in front of you. When it comes to data and listings, the market isn't a gamble. It is actually a map. And so data is your compass to predictable listings. If that is not a mic drop, I don't know what is, okay? Tony, even if you don't like my quotes that you hear every week. So I really want to focus just to start with on where you guys struggle with listings. And I understand that inventory gets tight. There's a lot of competition. You have agents spending thousands and thousands of dollars on postcards to farm areas that people throw in the garbage, but it doesn't matter. You're not sending the postcard. So it's a whole situation, right? And then also just rising cost of leads in general. So this is kind of a solution that we found. And you guys know that I've done expired classes, FSBO classes. We're about to do a divorce class, all the different things. But like, where do we find the data? I can teach you how to present to the seller. I can teach you what to send them, but like you need access to the data. So how many of you guys have done like RedX or LandVoice or paid thousands of dollars for someone to tell you, I'm going to get you the latest data? I see some me's in the chat. Me too, friends. You're not alone. It's like going gambling where someone says, please put $50 in the slot machine. I guarantee you win nothing. And we put in the $50 anyways. It's awful. So at the end of the day, the truth is we need to know where the data comes from, because it's not really price of whether something is worth paying for it or not, but where does our data come from? So these are places that we know as real estate agents that data comes from. We have public record, we have MLS history, we have county, municipal, and court filings, and we also have like ownership and mailing records. So I'm super excited to turn over the mic for a second to my guy, Mark, who's going to start with, before we show you this software, why PropertyRadar is different and where his data comes from. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Betsy. I mean, I think you hit it on the head, which is that it's only as good as the quality of the data, and there's unfortunately a lot of folks out there that'll just sell you or resell you basic lists, and they're not doing any work to make sure that that data is accurate and timely and has great coverage across all of the 3,400 counties in the U.S. And that ultimately really matters, because your outreach, your marketing dollars are only as good as the data that allows you to target. And so we're obsessive about that. I mean, we are not a reseller just of a single source of data. We gather data from a number of different sources. We do bake-offs on data every year from the major sources. And where we can't buy data, we have people that physically go to the courthouses and to the counties, and we manually abstract it. And then we have a data research team that just pores over this to make sure that it's as timely and accurate as possible. And so, I mean, I can geek out on, all the sources and the types of data, but I mean, I think the big takeaway is it's really critical for all of you to understand where your data comes from and understand what it means and the quality of it, because you're going to put dollars behind it, and you're either going to be successful with that or you're not. And because we're as crazy about data as we are, I argue that this is the source that you want to use.
And how many of you guys also realize that if you are using something like RedX or Landvoice, or you're getting a list when you walk in your brokerage every morning, like, hey, boop, here's who you need to call that just expired yesterday. What happens when you start to actually look up some of those properties and realize that they're already on the market again?
Yeah.
Like, that is terrible. You don't want to be somebody that spends all this time to research an expired listing and realize that it's already back on the market. You don't want to be the person that finds out that the person that you thought just got divorced or filed for divorce, I should say, 30 days ago, actually filed a year ago, and their house has already been sold. So
this is exactly the point, Betsy. I think that most people just rely on their source of data and assume that it is accurate and timely. And not to pick on another vendor or disparage on vendors, but most vendors buy and sell from a single source, which is First American. And First American has great data, but because we do bake-offs and we do all this analysis, do you know that in 400 counties in the United States, First American's data is 2 weeks later than other sources that we get them? So think about that. Like, if you're 2 weeks late to the game, like, that sucks. I mean, and being 2 weeks early is a competitive advantage. And so ultimately, it's the difference between a deal and no deal. And we don't want you to have to understand all that nuance and know for each data source where the best place to get it from is. We go through that effort to make sure that it's as timely and accurate as possible.
Any questions on data before I move on, kids? All right, cool. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll open up for Q&A at the end. So if you guys want to drop a question in there, we can revisit it. If you want to raise your hand, this is adult learning. You can take yourself off mute. You can ask any questions that you want. So I just created this for expireds. We're actually going to filter through something else tonight in live in the software. But the number one mistake I think agents make when they get access to any powerful data tools is simply that they try to work 15 lead sources at once. And if you talk to any agents that have been on a direct team of mine, I'm like, no. You're not going to do expireds, pre-foreclosures, and absentee owners. You're going to create a custom client experience for the expireds and a flow to target those expireds, and then move into pre-foreclosures, and then go into FSBOs, and then go into vacant properties. Because you have to remember that when you are targeting listings, it is a long game. Now, some of you know some really cool strategies we talk about all the time that creates a shorter, because at the end of the day, we're giving something that they want. But when you're dealing, let's say, just per se with expireds, they've already failed. We know that they're frustrated. We know that they're still motivated. But at the end of the day, we have to have accurate data to contact them. Because unless you're going to send out blanketed mailers, it's 2026. I mean, how many of y'all check your email every day? Like, emailing, texting, those are like proper ways to communicate with people. So what I'm going to have Mark do now is share his screen, and we're going to get into the software together.
So I sent you a request there to, let me have it.
You should be good.
Okay, there we go. All right. Well, man, I mean, the danger in this is that I can geek out and just go too deep here, but I really want to just focus in on an area and show you an example of how you can find really differentiated leads. And so for this argument, I just kind of stuck in Bexar County, Texas, which is where San Antonio is. The reason I like using Bexar is because I have access to their courthouse documents and county records, and so as a way to validate, it's kind of fun if we need to get into that. But what you'll see here is, I just put in the county. I put in some qualifier here. I'm only interested in single family homes for this. And it shows me a population of, nearly 640,000 people that are in that group. And you'll see here that I already have some signal chips here that basically give you some hints as to some subsets of this data. So as an example, you can see, vacant homes. There's 7,300 of those, right? You've got folks that are underwater. You got people going through divorce and all these various things. And oftentimes these signals are great for realtors because people take action when something's going on in their life or financially, and whether it be distress or whether it be the birth of a child or somebody going off to college. I mean, there's all these different triggers that ultimately are strong indicators that they might be willing or interested in selling. And so that's why we use many of these filters. For sake of this discussion, what I want to focus in on is a new data set to us, which is divorce records. And we've had divorce for many, many years, but like everybody else, we were getting divorce records from the counties. And I don't know how many folks here have used divorce records in the past to try to find opportunities, but I'll tell you from my experience on the data side, the data sucks. It's old and it's sparse. And the reason for that is that when somebody's going through a divorce, you go through a process, a legal process at the county court, and that's where you file for divorce, and you go through your mediation, you go through all of the court process, and then ultimately it results in a divorce decree or a judgment where they're saying, okay, this person gets this, the person gets that, and then only about 5% of those completed cases actually get recorded with a county. And when it does, it's months late. So just like Betsy's example about expired listings, these are horrible for that. So we went out and we fixed it. And I'm going to show you, how cool this is. But now we get divorce data from the courthouse and we get it daily. And you can see people that just filed.
So painfully cute.
So you can be like the first one in the door and show up, to be helpful and being empathetic and navigate them through. And then you have a far higher likelihood of being the person selected when they go to sell that asset. So real quick, so we're going to go in here to divorce. And first I'll go ahead and indicate, do they have a divorce attached with this owners of the property? And then I'm going to go in and further qualify it. And this is where it gets really cool. So you'll see that this is showing 7,500 properties in the kind of San Antonio area that have a divorce associated with it. But let's go deeper here. Let's go and say, you know what? I don't want homes or people that went through a divorce, 8 months ago. I want people that in the last 30 days have filed for divorce. And so you'll see this number drop dramatically here. Now I've got 407 of these people. Again, this is a pretty good list still. And here's my list. Now I might also want to put other criteria around this. I could put I'm only looking for people maybe that have I don't know, we'll just make something up, a certain amount of equity in their property. So let's just say I'm going to look for people that have at least 30% equity in that property. And again, we'll drop this number now down a bit. So I've got 272 people, and that's a list size that I can manage and I can work really well. And from here, I can go ahead and save that list. But before I
Can
do,
we also, Mark, do what's the price point in this area?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what we'll do here.
Can we do over 200, estimated value or something?
Absolutely. So we will do, oh, sorry, it was on value, yes. So let's go the estimated value of the property. What did you say, 400?
I said minimum 200.
200, okay, so yeah. So we'll put that on
Now
there.
here in Tampa, our first time home buyer price point's about
Yeah, see,
350, 400.
that didn't drop it a whole lot, right? So
Took away like 70.
yeah, took away
We were at
70.
272. And I
Yeah.
mean, guys, the reason why I'm asking Mark to filter is because obviously what we want to do is we want to spend our time, money, and resources really honing in on the leads that we want, right?
Yep.
So I mean, most of you would prefer a listing over 200 versus a listing that's 89, 90, whatever. He obviously has filtered single family here. Some of you may want condos. Some of you may live in especially areas here in Florida where like those are prevalent. That's your name, that's your brand, that's your niche, waterfront condos, whatever. So as you're doing these filters, you want to think like, what is my marketing strategy going to be after the fact? And so the factor that you can use all this different criteria to filter up front is going to save you time and money on the back end, right? So if anybody has any questions or understands that, drop a 1 in the chat.
As you're doing that, a couple things come to mind. I mean, the one is we talked about the importance of the accuracy and timeliness of the data. The secondary piece is that you have a lot of filtering ability. So just like I showed you here, it's not just enough to know that they have a divorce associated, but I want to know that they had it in the last 30 days. Well, that same amount of information, we have over 300 different criteria you can search on. So as an example, if I had that same group and I want to go into and say, I only want people that meet that criteria that are at least 40 years old. I mean, so you can put in all sorts of information, demographic information like ethnicity and all these different things to get down to a group of people that now you can deliver a very consistent and strong message to. And ultimately, I think that is what is really the power. It's great to have the data, but you need to show up with the right message at the right time. So,
and I think that allows you guys to filter for yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people that are also, thinking about when it comes to liens and like all those different types of situations. I mean, someone that filed for bankruptcy that also has, an insane lien on their property, but they still have equity. That you can do something with them, sell their house, take their cash, if they have to get into a rental, that's what they have to do, et cetera, et cetera. But you can really hone in on who you want to focus on. Can you go back though, Mark, to phone number though?
Yeah.
Because if these are people that you guys are going to call, like again, by putting in phone number available.
Yep.
Phone, and then can we do email too?
Yeah. So what we can do is we can has phone, yes, and I can do the same thing for email.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really care if they're over 40. You can take that one off. Okay. But I want their phone and their email.
All right, let me pull that one out and then I'll apply the email as well.
Yeah.
So we'll go here into owner email, do the same thing, has email, yes. Now, one thing that's important to note, because you just called those out, Betsy, is that unlike most data platforms where you build a list of, say, the properties and the people, now you go out and skip trace it to find the emails and phone numbers, we already have them all built into the platform. There's no secondary skip tracing. It's all available here. So as we look at this list now, if I scroll over, you'll see little indicators to show that all of these, in fact, do have phone and emails attached to them. And if I jump into any one of these properties, I'll give you a little bit more glimpse of the depth here. But here on this property, you'll see the owner involved here. If they have other properties, in this case they do, they've got another rental property or maybe vacation property, it'll show all of those other properties. And in this case, because we're focused on divorce, it's showing all of the filing details here. This divorce was only filed like 2 weeks ago, and this is the court case number. Rosa.
Dude, how many of you guys think that's cool? Like, I'm a tech junkie, but the factor that you can find out that like somebody has filed a divorce 2 weeks ago. Mark, can you change one thing for me though? Can you go back to criteria really quick?
Of course.
I just discussed this with my personal team today. Can you change is owner occupied?
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things, guys, you need to think about that I love when I talk to agents, they're like, dude, I spend $3,000 a month on mailers. And I'm like, do you even know if the people live there? Like, do you even know if the owner is going to get the mail you're sending? So if you're thinking about emailing, calling, etc., that's great. But if you're thinking about also dropping things off like a packet, this, that, or another, you can automatically filter right here whether the property is owner occupied. You can go back into that property, Mark. Yes, obviously, if you click on this, you can see here that we can also tell mailing address, primary residence, other properties. That's cool, but why not filter up front if you're planning on dropping something off or sending something in the mail to not go ahead and weed out the people that actually don't live at the house. So then the mailman you might get the mailman as a buyer or seller, but that's the only person that's getting your mail.
Yep. Great point. I mean, the other thing too is, and I'm going to show you here, I just opened up the email, or I'm sorry, the phone numbers on this, and you'll see that they've got, in this case, 3 landlines associated with this particular person. These 2 here, this little indicator, is showing that 2 of those phone numbers are on the do not call. So I could also scrub, just like Betsy had me do around, do they have a phone number or do they have email? I could also scrub out, are they on the do not call list, or those that are not on the do not call list, so that I can be sure I can clearly call against those. And then we also prioritize. So we always stack rank these based upon the highest connection rate. So this one that's up on top, it's verified, and this would be the number I would start with. Doesn't mean that these aren't useful. These can be really useful to me in research or to chase that person down. But this is the one I'm going to start with. Same thing with emails. We'll usually come back with multiple confirmed email addresses for the individual. In this case, we've got 3 that we could reach out to connect with them. So all of that's really cool. On the contact level, on the property details, it's everything you would expect and more. I mean, it's got all the parcel details and the APN and the acreage and square footage of the structure and everything else. In terms of value and equity, there's a couple of cool things here that we need to talk about. I mean, one is that we, determine what the
property's worth,
valuation is of that property, as well as what's open loans and how much equity they have. And then we have what I would argue is the best comping tool on the market, hands down. So most comparables are simply looking for within a radius, right? They'll make it like a half-mile radius, and then they'll say, show me the same structures that have the same numbers of beds and baths. But we all know that that's not how life works, especially in some older neighborhoods where they're not as homogeneous, right? You have all sorts of differentiation. In this case, like you can see, it's crossing a major highway. Those aren't going to be legitimate comps across there. So what this allows us to do is to modify that criteria and say, this one actually, just as an example, like this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but this one's really primed to, have an addition, and we're going to make it a 4th 2 or 4th 3 or whatever. You can give it that information and have it recomp it, or you can say, you know what, exclude everything on one side of the road. I want to make sure it's all within, similar houses. And so all of a sudden you can help your seller with a much better expectation around,
Can you show where you can add that, Mark?
Yeah.
So why is this important to you guys that are like working with investors when you're trying to list a flip or work with somebody that also is saying like, hey, I might add a bathroom. Hey, I might do this. I might do that. You can run this, comp analysis for them, write in what they're thinking about doing, and it's going to adjust your comps for you right then and there.
Yeah. The other cool thing here is like you could say, and like this is a great example. Again, most comps are just looking at any sale activity that matches the beds and baths within radius. Well, I don't want to include short sales and some of these other things, right? So I'm going to pull some of this stuff out, and let's do the same comp but focus only on those in the market. Let's, like, to our point, let's say we're going to sell this to an investor. They're thinking about, sticking an ADU. You can add all these kinds of things in there, and then update your comps and get a completely new list of, better relevant comps. And so this is a really good tool, both for the investor side, but also just in helping your both buyers and sellers to get more rational.
Mark, can I just add something on this?
Yeah, please do.
It is the single best listing presentation tactic I've ever seen. I mean, imagine sitting down with a seller, doing this in real time with them, and actually coming up with a pricing strategy right then and there that's like based on this. I guarantee you nobody else is doing that. Guarantee it.
Yeah, awesome. This is maybe less important for you, but we show all of the transaction history against the property for these current owners, and even against the property all time. And so you can get a good sense for what's going on, where these people stand in terms of current mortgage activity, or how much they're underwater, that kind of stuff. If there were active listings on any of these properties, they would show up here, and then links to those.
Oh,
active
cool. You
listings.
can open up Zillow, Realtor.com.
Yeah,
and
right to those listings if they exist. And then this is neighborhood specific details based upon this particular property we're in here. But you can get information about, everything from education and income and housing and volatility and turnover, that sort of thing, just to give you a better sense for what you can expect as you approach these deals. And then we have an ability to do that kind of in the macro sense. So if I back out of here just real quick, let's just go ahead and make this a real list. And I call this San Antonio divorce. And you'll see here I have some options for automating this or in monitoring it. And so what this allows me to do is, let's say that we set this criteria up for any divorces that have filed in the last 30 days. We can have this be monitoring every single night. And within this particular framework of criteria I gave it, if anybody new qualifies for those criteria, it can take an action. That action could be as simple as text me in the morning, hey, there's 3 new divorces that meet your criteria in your city. Or
Dude, how cool is that?
Or it could be like, send them a direct mailer tomorrow. It could be add them to my call list. And you determine what you want it to do. But this is your marketing machine operating while you sleep. That's where we want to get to. We want to have all of these niche lists that are just churning along and then popping out opportunities for you.
Yeah. How many of you guys would use that to set up some type of monitoring so you won't have to refilter your list every single day? Yeah, I see this.
Awesome, right?
Vincent said, I don't see how I could fail with this. Vincent, I'm telling you, man, I geek out on tech, and like I could do this data stuff all day long. But for me, it's like, really hone in on your niche. And I talk about that all the time. If you guys are going to target divorces, if you're going to target, people in pre-foreclosure bankruptcy. I mean, I know people that filed a bankruptcy and now they make $1 million a year. Vincent said, do you do team sports data too? Yeah, I think it's really cool that you can create the list and have it monitor every single day. If you just simply want to be notified of what data has come out in your specific area that you're targeting with your specific clients or potential customers that you're targeting, I think that's great. But I also think that it's great that you can set up the automatic to-dos if you are going to actually work these leads, to add them to your call list, add them to this, add them to that. I think is amazing.
Yep, absolutely. So once you have these lists, you can take actions on them, and we've built in all of the targeted outbound ability to connect with these people. So it's great that I've got a list. I love this list. Now I want to start making contact with them. We make it easier. We got a dialer built in. We have both a single line and multi-line dialer with Wave. It's an additional subscription with them if you're interested in doing that, or you can just make calls directly from the platform. You can do direct mail. So we have the ability to send 1 or 100,000. We send them all the next day. So if I triggered a direct mailer here right now, they would all drop tomorrow. They'd all drop first class with all of the tracking attached to it so that I know exactly when it hits the mailbox, and then I can pick up the phone and make a call. We have email marketing. We have other phone marketing like text messaging as well. And then we have online ads. And I'm going to let Jacob talk to online ads. It's super differentiated.
This is my favorite part, dude.
It's
so anyone who thought that this was cool so far, this is like my favorite part.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to steal Jacob's thunder here. He's got this.
No, yeah, online
Jacob,
ads
this
is
is
also
my jam, dude. This part right here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I mean, it's the only PropertyRadar is the only place you'll find this seriously. Online ads, essentially what they are is, so this list of 131 people, if we were to place an online ad order on this list, we're able to go in and match and identify the property owners on this list, and generally we get anywhere between a 90 to 95% match rate. And what we do is we're able to tap into audience networks and follow them around with targeted ads on the websites that they're browsing in real time with ad inventory that's available for sale. So it's not social media, it's not Facebook, it's not Google. Think about when you're browsing the internet and you're on like a big website like an ESPN.com, a Yahoo.com, MSNBC, wherever you browse on the website, right? On the internet. If there's available ad space to bid on, we're going to bid on it and place those ads, but only to the people on this list here. So if you're sending direct mail, if you're sending email, right? If you're going and texting these people, in the past, what you would be relying on is generally reaching out to a cold list of people who've never heard of you before.
Correct.
But with online ads, if you start out with this for 10 cents per property, you're able to go in and generate anywhere between 5 and 10 impressions on the websites that they're browsing with your brand, with your message. And the best part is we include your branding, your headlines, right? So all of the things that you're going to end up saying to them, you're already starting out with.
So for
10 cents per property.
147 people, what does it
So-
cost me?
Yeah, so it's what do we got here, Jacob? $13.
Yeah, it'd be like
$14.70.
Yeah.
Wait, everyone tell me in the chat that you just heard what I said. You can target with a custom ad 147 people that filed for divorce practically yesterday with a custom ad with you on it for $14.70.
Yeah.
Can you show that, Mark, how easy it is to create the ad really
Yeah,
quick?
so I mean, you go into click on online ads here, and basically, so this is an example. Like you got 4 different ad sizes, and like Jacob said, we'll place these based upon the website they're on and what sort of ad inventory they have available. But all you need to do to get started is basically say, you put in your website address, or you could be a landing page if you want to get really specific, which is awesome. Jacob would highly advocate for that. And then you can either tell us what you want that ad to look like. You can couple this with your direct mail template, and we'll pick up the visual elements of your direct mailer and we'll create the online ad for you. Or if you're really savvy and you want to design something yourself, you can upload your own images, and that's it. Jacob's
But to
team
be
then takes
clear,
it.
I could have, let's say I'm a certified divorce listing specialist. I could have myself, divorce listing specialist. These people just filed. They're searching on Shein or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
The wife's spending money because she knows they're about to get divorced. And then bam, Betsy pops up. That's what you're telling me, Mark.
That's exactly right. Exactly
I
right.
just want to
So-
make sure I had it right, Mark. And
Oh, you
Jacob.
got it. And so that's it. We make it super simple. I mean, the other thing, and we didn't really talk about it, but it's a nice little segue because we're on this. We have, not only, Jacob, but we have graphic designers on staff. And so if you tell us what you want, we'll build it for you. And it doesn't cost you anything else. We'll just do that.
Wait, so you're going to build it for me, 147 people for $14.70.
Yeah, we'll build it. We'll place it for you, and then we'll help you track it. And the same thing goes, for our lists and stuff too. I want to make sure that it's clear. We have obviously a support team that'll help if you run into challenges, but we also have a success team, and their job is to help you find success in the platform. And so they'll help you build lists. They'll help you create campaigns. The great thing here is they're in a really unique vantage point where they're working with thousands of real estate agents across the country, and they're seeing what people do, both the good and the bad, and they'll tap into like, oh wow, this person's doing this and finding a lot of success with it. They'll share that with you. They'll help you build awesome campaigns, and so it's honestly it's second to none. I mean, not only is the data and everything awesome, but we're just making it like.
And I
really
do have a quick
simple.
question for you, Mark, really quick, because I know that someone's going to ask and I didn't ask you.
Yeah.
Is it only like a cost per user, or do you have like a team platform where you can have multiple users?
Yeah, great question. You can add multiple users to any of our tiers. We have 3 different tiers. We have what's called solo, which is going to be a fit for most individuals and small teams. We do
Okay.
have a team plan, and then we have a business level plan. And each of those plans, we can kind of, matter of fact,
Okay. You don't have to stop what you're doing. I
That's
just
right.
know that
I
I
mean,
just
since
have the
you
solo
asked the
plan.
question.
So,
So
we
you-
can do this later. We can go back.
Okay.
We can talk to them about it later. I just didn't know if someone, I just know we have some team leaders on the call.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure they could like choose, what they wanted to do if they wanted to have like multiple users in their platform.
Absolutely.
So as
Absolutely.
far as like creating the ad, you can do this for any type of list, basically.
Correct.
So what are you guys seeing, Jacob, since you're the ad guy, like real estate agents doing as far as ads that's super successful?
Yeah, the biggest thing with ads that are super successful. So the thing with online ads is they're designed to generate those initial impressions, right? I'll kind of answer this question in a roundabout way. Like online ads, the way that you measure the effectiveness of them is when you run email, when you run direct mail. I mean, we see anywhere between a 15 to 20% increase in responsiveness to direct mail for lists that we've run online ads.
Online ads for.
So like the ones that are being really successful, what they're doing is they're starting with online ads, but more importantly, back to the consistency piece, they're using the same headline, the same colors, the same branding on online ads that they then follow up with, a few days later with a postcard that looks exactly like a larger, blown up, more informative version of that online ad. And then hitting them with email that has that same kind of copy, right? So to answer your question, Betsy, there's not like one particular like design or like way of doing it, but the thing to know is that if you're starting with in maintaining that consistency using online ads and then moving to the next channel, that's where you're going to see success with these lists. 100%.
How much would it cost me to mail one time to this list, Mark? 147 people.
We have two different types of like sizes of postcard. We have 4x6 and 6x9s. I mean, you can get it as low as
4 by
48 cents a
6.
piece, as high as 80 cents, depending upon what you're.
How much is the 4x6?
They go between, well, it depends on the tier that you're in, but let's say for the solo plan, I think you're 58 cents for the 4x6
So
and
58 cents.
either 78 or 80 cents for the
So
6x9.
just to be clear, I could touch 147 qualified, scrubbed, filtered leads for a total of $99.96 with a postcard and an online ad.
Exactly. I mean, we've priced these very aggressively. We want people to use them, want people to be successful with them.
Wow.
It's not really a profit center, but
Right.
yeah, it's very, very efficient.
Right. So just to all you agents out there, I mean, let's think about this. Here we scrubbed this data and we did a minimum of $200,000. So, let's just say average is like 250. We'll just say people are, doing 2% listings. That's $5,000. You have 147 people and you converted 3 of those at 2%. You're making 15 grand and you spent 99 bucks. I don't know. ROI seems pretty good to me. If that makes sense to you, put a 1 in the chat. Just saying. Now, I do think that, like Jacob was saying, that, the biggest thing that I see, and we see this all the time, listings are a little bit different than buyer leads because, someone that just filed for divorce, the divorce isn't taking 12 months. So when you guys are thinking about working leads, a lot of people talk about listings being the name of the game because when you're working, Google PPC leads, somebody probably is in a rental or they don't have to move and they're searching online. You guys are hyper focused, targeting people that need to sell their home. When you're working with tax liens, HOA liens, bankruptcies, divorce, all those things. Now you have the other side of the coin where there's motivated people. So at the end of the day, if it was me, this is just a Betsy Tinervin opinion drop. Like I would be more apt to spend more money on the people I know have to sell, like people getting divorced, people that are going to literally go to auction. Now, those people I'd be hitting with a mailer, with an ad, with an email, with a text. People that are like, oh, dude, they have high equity and you're just randomly farming, spending thousands of dollars on mailers. No way. Like they have not raised their hand saying, hey, I'm thinking about selling, or been any of our qualifying criteria that show me that they're selling. Do you agree with that, Mark?
100%. And you just kind of teased something that we're about to release next.
Of course you are, Mark.
Next Tuesday, we have a major release. We're actually our whole platform is going to version 5.0 of our PropertyRadar platform. Part of that is what we call distress scoring. And you can think about it as a motivation score, and it's a 0 to 100 score. And we look at all of those different factors,
I
like you
love
mentioned,
that.
like, divorce and all these different things, tax liens and blah, blah, blah. But just because they have a distress signal, like, doesn't mean that they're really motivated. A good example would be, somebody's got an HOA lien, and oh yeah, it's a lien, but it's a $300 lien because they left their
Yeah,
garage door
right.
open or whatever. That's not really motivation. Similarly, I mean, I would argue even like an expired listing, there's motivation there, but it's not like a hair on fire motivation, right? I'm upset. I probably priced it wrong, whatever. But so we'll take all of these things and we will apply AI logic to it to determine the most or the scoring, I should say, for each of these distress signals. And then we allow you to stack rank them. And so you could just stack rank those and know exactly what priority you
So
should be
can you
making your
filter
calls.
by that motivation score?
Exactly.
Okay,
You can both
sweet.
filter on it and you can stack your list on it. So I'm going to start with these. And maybe like to your point, if I've say I have a list of 1,000, but there's 100 of them that have a really high score, well, that may be where I'm going to put more of my dollars. I'm going to put direct mail and I make phone
Exactly.
calls to those. The rest of them, maybe I'm going to be a little bit more passive, maybe email campaigns or something cheaper. But yeah, super cool tool to allow you to really focus your investment.
And we do have a couple questions. Are we going to show them something else inside the system, or can we?
It's up to you. I mean, I could say I could go on
Yeah,
and on.
because Mark can show you guys a million things that you can do. Julius is asking how it works with expireds. So could you just do a quick little go back to your filter for expired listings really quick? And then Sean, I'll get to your question next about the CMA print off and the comp data. I'm going to get that for you too.
Yeah, let me just go here. Let me just grab a location. Let's do like Los Angeles. And so when you go into, there's a couple things since you asked the question, I'll answer you. But when you go in, you almost always want to start with a location, because if you search the United States, it'll take you forever. And we have what are called quick lists, and so we've already assembled like all of the most logical things that you would want to search for, and you can just
Wait,
like
go back a second. Do you see that? They have our name in there, bro. Can you go back?
where?
Realtor. It's
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's in there. And he clicked it. And then he has all these lists right here that we should be taking a look at. I don't
Yes,
know.
I mean, if you don't like, I know that nobody wants to like geek out on data like I might.
I do.
You do, but most people don't want to be data experts. Most people want to be out engaging with clients and selling homes. And so to that end, we just try to make it really easy, like go get these things. But this was for expired, right?
Yep.
So like I can just go here to quick list investor expired listing, and it's going to automatically pull this, say, show me anything that just went expired within this time frame. I can modify any of that, right? So let's go here real quick and see what we get here. So we had 327 that were in the last 30 days. I could go in here and say, you know what, I don't want 30 days. I want to see those in the last.
No, 30 days is cool.
Okay, I thought that was
30
maybe
days is cool.
you
Just
can go whatever.
add
So
a
my
filter
point
like
is,
not currently listed.
I can narrow this thing to whatever, yeah, and then.
But how
also
far back can you go? Let me ask you that really quick.
Oh, I can go back. You can give it whatever date range you want. I mean, so yeah, anything.
Yeah, because with expireds, Julius, what I tell people is I look at stuff that expired like 6 months ago that's not listed yet.
So
Just because
let's
I
see
don't
what
want
we
the
did on
expireds
that.
that happened yesterday. You know what I mean? 50 agents calling them, blah, 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 blah. But 30 days is cool too.
Okay, so this one I did, expired within the last 30 days and is not listed for sale. Still got 327 of these folks. So there you go.
Okay, now out of those, what's another like cool factor we could throw in there? Let's do owner occupied.
Well, we could do owner occupied. One thing you'll see here is you see like here, this one's showing these green icons. These are just land. So I might say, you know what, I want
Yeah, we
to
want single
only
family.
limit this to property types of single family. And within that, check this out. I'm not just obligated to take all.
Ooh, I can ask if it's a cabin.
Yeah, I can say, you know what, I only care about single families and townhouses. I don't want cabins. I don't want mobile homes. Like, so you can get really granular here. And this is
Why are you being biased about a mobile home, Mark? You know, there's like multi-million-dollar mobile homes out there, kid.
Yeah, no, there's plenty. Yeah, mine's a double wide, but nonetheless.
Okay.
So, you can apply this now, boom, now we're down to 129, right? So, just gives you,
And then you can take that and do the equity piece.
yeah, sure, you can apply equity to that. Say, go to value and equities, go
Boom,
equity
boom.
percentage, and we'll say, I don't know, let's look for people with 35% equity. Let's see what we get.
And now,
98.
Julius, I'm going to do some math for you. Are you ready? So now you have 98 people. So if you wanted to mail, you'd be at like $56.
Right,
And then what is it for my ad? It's
10
10
cents.
cents, right?
So $9.80.
So then for $9.80, you can target those people with an ad. Dude, I shouldn't have even had these agents on the call that were in my area, dude. That was a big mistake for me because now, they're going to be over here hitting my zip codes and my targets. Sean's question was, Julius, do you have any other questions on expired? Was that decent? Let me know in the chat. Sean's question was back to the CMA. Does that do like a nice printout that can be printed into a PDF? And what does that look like?
Yeah, Jacob, maybe I've not printed. I'm pretty sure you can. Let me see here. How do I do that? Let's see.
Well, I looked on the right-hand side, like activities, listing status change, property update. If you go to comps,
I go to comp actions. I think I can export
print
this
report,
list.
print
Yeah, so I
report,
can print it or
print it.
export it to a list.
Oh, you could print it and email it.
Yeah. And
Okay,
I can have the
cool.
map or not include the map. So yeah.
And then can you click print and see if it comes
Yes.
up?
See if I get anything that you can see. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Boom.
There you go. So there's your comps. Oh, it asks for the map. I think on actions too, we can choose what we include in that too.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, you could include different stuff in it, Sean, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of cool. It looks super techy, super data-y, et cetera, et cetera. But you can do a lot of stuff with the comp stuff. Then also, are you in the software where you can show them the classes that are offered?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
Is it a
at any
calendar or
time,
whatever?
you can click on this little kind of question mark for help. We have video tutorials. We have our documented help center. You can engage with support here. This is where you can schedule a one-to-one call with our success team. And if I go here, I can schedule both kind of like, one-to-ones, or I can tell them exactly what I'm looking for and schedule specifically for that purpose. Beyond that, we also publish constantly to our different audiences, like, hey, we're going to have a realtor list building webinar, and we have these all the time. So there's plenty of opportunity to engage, and we always have chat, available at any time. We got people constantly on chat, ready to help.
Let's open it up for Q&A, kids. Does anyone want to unmute and ask a direct questions? Mark can stay in the software.
Yeah.
Get out of the software. Where are my tech people at? Sean, did you just unmute?
I've been unmuted and been trying to restrain. This is pretty legit. This is like data overload. You have more filters, and it just can be refined. So I'm just really interested in the layering of the marketing pieces that you can apply to a very hyper strategic list.
Yeah,
Sean, I imagine the conversion rates are like exponentially higher than just one component of these layers, right?
Yeah, thank you for doing the math on that. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, and that's really what we're all about. We're like, we talk about our platform as a hyper local lead generation platform for a reason. It's exactly that. Like, I want you to think about creating very tight niches, because when you create a broad group, or there's like a kind of this fad or trend about called list stacking, where I'm going to get all these different criteria, and if anybody meets any of these things, I'm going to then send them my piece, right? And then my message is like, oh, I help sell homes. Well, yeah, but if you can get really focused on a small niche, the power of your messaging is exponentially better. right now I can show up to like this divorce couple that we were looking at and be like, hey, I specialize in helping couples navigate a really tough time, and here's right. I can get right to the heart of it, and I'm far more likely to break through the noise and have them resonate with that message versus casting a really broad net. So you're absolutely right. I mean, the whole name of the game is create a bunch of small little niche lists and be very hyper focused on how you approach them, and it is a game changer in regards to your response rates.
And then you take this, 10 steps further, because everything we do is in Chat GPT now. And you say, hey, Chat, I just built a list in PropertyRadar of people that have an expired listing or filed for divorce 30 days ago, have equity in their home, boop, 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 create me an email drip campaign, da, 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 da. And just like Mark said, and then also like, I want to tap emotion. I want to do this. One
this out,
of the
Betsy.
links that got dropped in the chat, if you are a solo agent and you're interested in purchasing PropertyRadar, we have a special for you. You get $20 off every single month by using that link that's in the chat. So before other people leave, I'm going to still do Q&A. If you're a solo agent, if you want to talk about teams and multi-users, can you please drop your name and email and phone number in the chat? And my assistant will snatch that, and I will have someone contact you if you are looking to do more of a team platform. If you want just a solo platform, you can use any of those links and get $20 off. And we will be doing a follow-up call with Mark as well. The other thing that we will drop in the chat is the March 17th event in Tampa is almost sold out. So if you are interested in coming to that, that is for FSBOs. I would like Mark to say one thing about that really quickly, please. They are going to be dropping in PropertyRadar new FSBO data. So if you thought all this was cool, let me just hit you with this bomb really quick.
Yeah, FSBO's coming. We are already ingesting the FSBO data, and probably next 60 days we'll be bringing that to market as well. So those of you that are looking at like Red X and paying a bunch of money just for kind of access to FSBO, be equal or better in terms of data quality, and a heck of a lot cheaper.
And so can you say anything about what that's going to look like, Mark?
Yeah, it'll be
I feel
very
like
similar.
You just held back a little bit for me, and I thought we were friends.
Yeah, no. I mean, it'll effectively look just like you would have any other criteria. In the criteria section, you'd be able to look under like where here we have like listings. You'll see FSBO as a type and be able to search.
And then I can get the same data on the FSBO though.
Yeah. So you'll have
like, are they over 40?
Yeah. You can apply all.
Are they motivated? Oh my God.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, if you want to do, if you want to do the FSBO class in March, we're local in Tampa here. I will do a follow-up call with Mark as well, and bring him back maybe for the people that actually like enrolled, in the software. We can have other people on that missed tonight. If you're watching on the replay, please look at the description in the YouTube link. The link will be posted there if you would like $20 off of the software per month. They do have an annual plan and a monthly plan. Most of us real estate agents do the monthly plan because we figure out, are we going to use it? What are we going to do? I think it's very, very affordable per month. And then I think the marketing behind it is affordable. And obviously obtaining the names, the emails, the phone numbers, etc., is just insane. If you want the link, please drop the link again. If you want to just go ahead and sign up, you do get 5 free days free before you are charged. So the link that we give you is for $20 off, and it's 5 free days. So please can drop that again. We can snatch your emails from the group chat if you are interested in a team. And then also we did drop the link for the 17th event in there. And then for the last 3 minutes, I just want to, there's no stupid questions in my classes. You can ask anything very basic. You can ask something super advanced. You can ask Mark to give all the secrets and Jacob all the secrets to all their agents that are successful throughout the country on this platform. Whatever you want to ask, pipe up now, because I know I do have some tech junkies on here. And so please speak now or forever hold your peace if you have any questions. Nobody?
Let me speak to one thing that Sean brought up, which is like this can be a lot of overwhelm. There's a lot of depth there and a lot of data and so forth. One thing I didn't show, probably should have, is we also have an AI agent built in there, and you can just tell it like,
well, like show
hey,
it really quick.
Okay, let me show you really quick.
Look at Sean. You can tell that Sean has been a part of my life for the past 10 years because we geek out over this, bro. Sean's smiling like, I knew there was AI in there. I knew it, bro.
So check it out. So I was like, find single family homes in Los Angeles
Stop it,
County
dude.
with 30% or more equity.
You don't even need to check the filters. Just type the filters.
You don't even
AI.
have to check the filters. You just type it in like
do this and check this out.
bro.
So it will go and it will come back. Not only will it tell me what criteria I should use and I can apply, but there it is. It found 151,000 properties with that kind of information, and I can either use that criteria or I can go in and then modify that criteria and start working from it. So trying to make it as easy as possible for you beyond
And
just
quick.
that.
Wait, is this like also like a dating site though, Mark? Like what if I put find me a husband over 40 that makes $500,000 or more a year and does not have a tax lien? Can it populate that? We're on to something here. Because if we could provide that type of data, Jacob, what do you think, dude?
Yeah, that's so
It'd be
funny.
like Property Radar Tinder, bro. And
We
I
had a
think
whole marketing campaign. I shot dead around that exact thing right there. I swear to God.
dude,
It pulls
like,
from all the
legit.
different dating sites and stuff and puts it together right in
Yes.
front of you. You can even slip
Dude,
from
and you
Tinder
could pay
to this to that
$35
to
to have an
that.
ad. You could advertise yourself.
So
I love this.
The other thing is, we didn't stop there. Like we also use AI. So like, remember how we were showing you the online ads that you can create? You can use AI and say, hey, help me build my brand. And it'll ask you questions about types of people you serve in your market and blah, blah, blah. And it'll come up and it'll create a brand for you. And then that will apply to all of the marketing that you do.
And then when somebody joins, it's very overwhelming. They don't know what to do. So when somebody joins, is there like an onboarding? Do they have to go to a video? Like what happens?
Yeah, we've got 2 folks on Jacob's team that will engage with you, even if you're just doing your 5-day free trial. They'll work with you and talk to you about what you're trying to accomplish to help you build lists. And then, like I was mentioning, that success team is there to then go deeper with you. They'll build your campaigns out. They'll help you with your marketing strategy, the whole thing.
If this was helpful in your business, let's give Mark some kudos in the chat. Let's put some 7s in the chat for Property Radar.
Give Jacob a little love.
If you guys think that you'll use this in your business, let's give Mark some love in the chat. Where's Mark been my whole life? Too bad he lives in another state. That's what I need. Mark, not only should we do this for finding properties, we should find other tech people like us that we can bond with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like forget the dating site, Jacob. Let's just build it around techjunkies.com. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not at the bar on Friday night. We're in Property Radar. Let's talk.
Let's do it.
So we so appreciate you guys coming.
Likewise.
I do, I can't give Mark's cell phone number out. He is the CEO of Property Radar. What I can do is bring him back for tons more action. I hope that you guys grab that link at least to your free 5-day trial. Please grab the emails in the chat if people are looking for a team version. I'm hoping to, in April, Zoom him in and Jacob on my class that's live in person. If you are not local and you guys want trainings in your area, you can email us at info@realtorriseacademy.com. If you are watching this on replay, my friends, click in the description, grab your link today. Thank you all for thriving with me on Thursday, and I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great evening.